Hello everybody, it's Girl Got Game and welcome to a new Gander video. Today, I'm checking out the demo for Pink Noise by Somber Games. I was reached out to by Anna, the developer of the game, who asked me if I would mind checking it out, and it's taken me a hot minute to get to it, but I finally have a little bit of time and I am excited to check this out for you guys today. The game is currently in Kickstarter. It's got only a couple days left, but let me just give you a quick synopsis of what's going down in this game. The town of Riverwood has seen better days. Now it slowly withers away, surrounded by endless fields and drowned in heavy shadows. Time feels frozen, and the fading life in its decaying houses and weary residents slips further into silence. One day, a group of teenagers discovers a strange, unmarked VHS tape. Driven by curiosity, they decide to watch it, unleashing a chain of terrifying events. The tape seeps into their minds, turning their deepest fears into reality. They must uncover the origin of the tape and escape the nightmare it brings before it's too late. You can help the characters survive or lead them to ruin. The story will go on either way, but the ending may be hopeful, or not. It all depends on your choices. So, as you can see, got some spoopy vibes going on in here. It's giving me some letter vibes, some Amanda the Adventurer vibes. So, I'm excited to go and check this out. Let's hop into a new game and see what we're getting into. I should also mention that this game has Russian, I believe, voice acting. I've turned it off for my playthrough, but it does come with Russian VA, which is pretty cool. Act 1, along shady alleys. This is gorgeous, though. I mean, look at this art. Incredible. Fall comes to Riverwood with chilling winds and the first drizzle. A bleak mist obscures the narrow streets, clinging to the rooftops, tangling in the bushes, and swirling around fields. Oh, my mouse came back to me. Maybe if I click? There we go, click. Fog and murky blackness suit the peculiar suburb. Nestled amid the forests and mountains, it's a decaying, quiet place waiting for winter. As the evening wears on, the town is wrapped in thickening twilight, with only a few streetlights serving as solitary islands of illumination in an ocean of darkness. I love that. Solitary islands of illumination. On one such evening, ordinary and cold, 4 teenagers are strolling around an old park, engrossed in a lively discussion. The first fallen leaves rustle underfoot. As the wind reaches the trees, their branches groan out a long, plaintive creak, as if already lamenting the loss of their motley attire. 2 of the teenagers, a tall boy and a fair-haired girl, walk hand in hand. Their friend carefully hops from one paved slab to the next, balancing as though a bottomless chasm might yawn open beneath them. A quiet, stooping boy in glasses trails behind them, casting glances at the road. Ahead, the street splits in two, then veers sharply out toward a wasteland. Just a half-century before, a tiny school stood there. Now only a barely discernible foundation and heaps of broken bricks choked by stubborn vines remain to remind them of its erstwhile existence. Year by year, students have taken that path, carrying with them their thoughts and fears, high hopes and grand dreams. From tough exams and first crushes to bullies' bonks on the head or simply yearnings to be the star player of a local team. Be it aglow in autumn gold, cloaked in verdant summer green, or blanketed beneath snowdrifts, Riverwood will never forget them, just as they'll never forget their town and its secrets. The older a place grows, the more mysteries it keeps locked away. One of the girls leaps into the distorted blur of light cast by an old street lamp. Oh, and they're walking too. Man, animation is cute. Ain't gonna catch me. Ava wipes shadowy webs off her cardigan. I don't know if it's Eva or Ava. I have a friend that is pronounced Ava that spells her name like that, so. Gossamer threads only she can perceive. She glances at the overgrown bushes, which have long since forgotten the tender care of gardening shears. No chow time tonight, beasties! The other girl scoffs at her friend's silly gestures. Ugh. If Brian was as agile as you, we wouldn't have been stuck in school after dark. The chemistry room's never been so tidy. She wriggles her fingers to demonstrate, her palms red and wrinkled from the hot water.
It's not my fault Mrs. Hopestone didn't save enough teeth to avoid spitting and lisping. Besides, she should have explained it better. The bottle must have been left open. Actually, she explained just fine, but you still put 3 chlorine tablets in the rubbing alcohol instead of 1. Surprise, surprise, the reaction was extreme.
Yeah, that bang was something else. My left ear's still ringing. Ava stops, hovering in a faint halo of light, and nods. She's never been reprimanded at school before today. Sure, she would have been way more upset if it hadn't been Brian's fault, but still. It's just another adventure. Something her and her friends will laugh about one day. And a happy memory is worth more than any reprimand. Especially when her parents will probably forget it by tomorrow.
Aight.
He raises his hands apologetically.
Next time we team up, I won't let you down. I'll put in 2 chlorine tablets.
Uh-huh. The group passes a row of houses as dissimilar to one another as is ever possible in a suburb. Ooh, lights on. The time-worn houses' windows glow faintly in sepia tones, as though the light itself has aged and can no longer disperse the deepening darkness. The buildings they pass seem to be contending for the greatest neglect. Every other resident would be considered an eccentric in any other town. Okay. For instance, Greybone has leaned on the rusty mower on his front stoop instead of a cane for 2 decades. Perfect. The abandoned duplex across the road still bears the scars of a long-forgotten fire. Its windows are boarded up. Even during the day, it has a miserable look. The teens keep their distance. Well, aren't you just a bunch of friendly-looking cat-like things? Oh, Mrs. Harvitz's house. The gloomy old lady had knitted yet another pear-shaped cat and proudly displayed it on the terrace, thus expanding her ugly army. It's impressive, honestly. Right, you had a cup of tea together. Did baby Tony apologize? Once, Ava's brother had filched one of the cats and taken it home. Neither of their parents had called any attention to it, so she'd had to explain herself that taking other people's belongings without permission was wrong. No, I was the one to apologize. Mrs. Harvitz didn't say a word. She only gave us a cold stare and sniffed loudly. She scared poor Tony so much that he couldn't fall asleep for half a night. You have such a giving heart when it comes to your brother. You might be raising a hell of a night. Why in the world would he want to snatch a cat, though? He was just a little kid. He came, he saw, he took it home. There's no need to tell her friend that Tony had intended to give Ava the cat. He knew she wanted a pet more than anything in the world. He thought he would cheer her up with at least a toy one. Aw, that's sweet. He'd never taken anything that didn't belong to him before. Not out of fear of getting caught or punished. He simply found stealing shameful. Tony would sooner give away his breakfast than steal something from someone weaker than him. No doubt that kind of attitude will make school harder for him, but such is his nature. Contemplating her brother's heart of gold, Ava smiles softly. Zoom in to the cute cats. They pass by Mrs. Harvitz's terrace, curiously eyeing her odd dolls. Twilight makes the cat silhouettes look eerie. Their pearl button eyes glimmer in the fading light as if they know secrets that have been buried too long.
If I go crazy one day, I'ma definitely buy a nice crib close to the park. The neighbors here match me perfectly.
Yeah, I can't stand this street. It's like it's lost in time and space. How about we head through the square? No one protests, so she leads them onward, sweeping into the nearest alley. Okay. Interesting point of view. A gust of wind burst through the narrow walkway, permeating the air with the stench of raw wooden planks and rotting garbage. The houses in the alley looked like they had been copied and pasted. They were likely built at the same time to house factory workers. The only thing that differs is the light in the windows, on or off, making it clear whose shift it is tonight. 2 Christmases before, Brian got beaten up here. Some high school students apparently didn't appreciate his sharp tongue. They'd shoved him into a snowbank and packed snow under his sweater. But the most humiliating part was a neighbor kicking them all out. She came out onto the doorstep with one of Brian's classmates, a cute but overly chatty girl. By the very next day, the whole school had heard the story about him shaking snow out of his pants and whimpering like a puppy. Aww. He would have preferred being rolled into a giant snowman and left there like that till spring. Brian adjusts the backpack full of baseball equipment, which has crawled down his shoulder, and walks up to Ashley.
Oh, I'm so fed up with this stupid school. All these teachers, homework, tests.
But the year just started.
That only makes me want to study even less. There's nothing worse than coming back to school after summer.
He jumps over a puddle and takes Ashley's hand.
It's like wearing old trainers you've already grown out of. I can't wait for college. When I start working, I'll buy real catcher's gear, or at least a better glove.
Trainers? Are we in England? Where does this take place? Out of curiosity. Although, is it trainer or runners? I don't know. I'm losing my English roots. His palm still hurt from Friday's practice session. The equipment donated to their team left much to be desired. Better buy a slugger straight away. It'll pay off much sooner. Best case scenario, you can be a bouncer at a bar. Ashley laughs at his childishness. Brian doesn't get the complexity of the world at all. Dad says a good job like his is hard to find without higher education. Ashley grabs her Leo Zodiac pendant. It's a nervous habit, something she does whenever she says something important. It calms her. College is just another place to study.
This world's too cruel. Illnesses, starvation, school. I like school, though.
Michael tries to squeeze into the conversation. All along, he's been trailing behind the others, glancing suspiciously at parked pickups as if they might bite. He hasn't kept up with his friends since he noticed 2 silhouettes in an old Ford. One female, one male. I will take your word for it. I will take your word for it. Whoa. That escalated quickly. The mutilated faces stared back at him. He could have sworn he'd heard a hoarse, gurgling whisper, "Nope." Then a light had flashed over one of the doorsteps, dispersing the blackness. Okay. Well, you're very chill about what you saw, sir. Suddenly, both seats were empty again, and the strange vision turned into nothing but a local flour mill uniform hanging from a grab handle. Michael wipes the sweat off his forehead and listens carefully to his friends. Of course. I'd love school too if I had your scores, Mikey.
Exactly.
Agreeing, Brian quickly squeezes Ashley's hand.
Maybe I should wear glasses too. Sounds like homework doesn't look so boring through them. Drugs.
They walk by the Murdoch's front garden and onto a street flooded with pink and blue neon store signs. You'd better stop complaining. We only have 3 years of school left. Just imagine, life's gonna be a completely different afterward. We might even lose touch. To Ava, the idea of moving away feels like teleporting to an unfamiliar planet. So many new people, places, and interesting stories. She hasn't even fully explored Riverwood yet. In her mind, the town's old houses and old residents still harbor so many secrets, enigmatic and dark. In comparison, some unknown huge city feels like a bottomless well, impossible to fully drain even if you had 100 years. In a future like that, it would be hard to make time for anything from the past. but she doesn't plan to forget her loved ones forever. If friendship's real, distance means nothing. My dad calls his friends from other states every single day. She's tempted to add that they mainly have business conversations and argue often, but they don't need to know that. In her mind, her parents are role models everyone should strive to imitate, not just her and her brother. There isn't a single family in the entire town happier or more close-knit than Ashley's, and that's nothing but the truth.
Well, a couple of cornfields and state borders ain't enough to break you up.
What the hell do Ashley's dad, your love, and cornfields have in common? Look around. Ava stops and points toward the houses swaying in the darkness.
Is anything really happening up here? Crunk Jim driving a tractor into a ravine was practically the only breaking news here in 6 months.
Well, adulthood is a real challenge. People grow up, then they start to feel sorry that time flew by so fast and they want to experience school life again. Oof. I'm sorry. Who gave you permission to take a shot at me? She pauses, searching for the right words. Quoting someone else is one thing, but will she soon regret those bygone days herself? After all, Ava already recalls her early childhood with nostalgic warmth. Back then, every little thing felt like it was brimming with wonder. Now a doll is no longer a sorceress princess or a traveler from a faraway world. A toy soldier is just a piece of plastic, and a blanket no longer. Making stories up for others is simple, but how are you supposed to fix yourself? Maybe the older you get, the duller and more colorless the world becomes. It's like going back to a fairy tale you weren't grateful enough for earlier.
They're just nice words, nothing more. Bring adults back to the textbooks and they'll howl all day. I don't remember any fairy tales where the characters were forced to read Walt Whitman's poetry. What about you, Michael? Me neither.
Okay, poster, just blowing off into the breeze. High score! Mama's hands! Pizza Town! The friends stroll from one store to the next, looking at the flickering signs. Up close, they no longer seem bright and cheerful. They look rather ramshackle and out of place in the dilapidated suburb.
Let's go home, okay? Dad's on shift today, but if he comes back to grab a bite to eat and I ain't there...
Brian scratches his neck and sticks out his tongue. Ashley laughs and punches him in the shoulder. Michael, trailing behind everyone, suddenly stops and looks at the only sign that still sparkles as brightly and cheerfully as the day it was hung.
The arcade's open. I doubt there's anyone there this late. We can play Street Fighter.
Usually calm and quiet, he now blossoms. Behind his thick glasses, his eyes shine with passion.
Totally! No stupid helpers, suckers, or high school jerks.
The boys lean against the dusty window as happy as if they're meeting their idols. The girls only snort in irritation. What? Suddenly you're not gonna run back to your crib to avoid Daddy's shellacking?
I'll risk it. There's always a chance Dad'll kick you in the head. But a chance to throw Hadokens and not wait in freaking line for the game? Now that's rare.
It takes so little to make them happy, doesn't it? Ashley glances at her friend. Let him play. By the way, did you hear about the arcade machine that appears in the hall by itself? Ashley rolls her eyes. Ava's fantasies and reality have little in common. Her friend refuses to grow up. In her world, even a tattered old shoe might open its jaws and spin some ridiculous yarn. And that's exactly why Ashley adores Ava. She's so incredibly different from Ashley's overly rational parents. And from Ashley, too. Without her, getting bored is an impossible mission. Even if they were both locked in an empty basement, Ava would still manage to discover something fascinating there. She'd pull Ashley in and get her into trouble again. They'd giggle about it later. But Ava doesn't need to know that. It isn't like anyone can stop her anyway. You start playing and can't stop. The game never ends. It's impossible. But you try over and over again, forgetting about eating or even going to the bathroom. Over and over again, not thinking of your parents and friends. Over and over again until you run out of your allowance, can't afford breakfast, and stay hangry for the rest of the week because you're done. Michael peels away from the glasses and adjusts his lopsided glasses. Oh no, did you see dead people again? Okay, thank goodness.
Well, that doesn't sound so scary if you got no allowance to begin with. Wanna go in or what?
Gosh, they're looking at us like dogs staring at a steak. Ashley waves her hand authoritatively. It's creepy to go home when it's so dark out. But if you win 100 tickets, me and Ava are gonna pick a prize.
Okay, it's high time for games.
Alright, just one spoopy thing so far. AK DK. Back to Allion? Is that what that says? And Shark Dinner. Oh my goodness, I feel like I've got transported back in time to the 90s. Even has a Game Boy! Shut up! The spacious room is somehow stuffy, permeated with the stench of hot plastic unsuccessfully covered up by pungent berry air fresheners. I can smell it. Smells like wasted time!
As if! This shack smells nothing like school.
Nice. The clamor of screensavers and demo walkthroughs melds into a terrible cacophony. No wonder the zoned-out cashier is shielding himself from it with a set of greasy, cushioned headphones. The walls are plastered with posters, promotional flyers, and all sorts of paper trash. However, one ad stands out. If you beat a record, you can win tickets and exchange them for prizes. Such generosity was easily explained. With the start of the school year, kids have a bit more cash in their pockets than usual. There's no one inside except the cashier, yet the floor is peppered with trash, from crumpled soda cans to chocolate bar wrappers. The arcade closes in 30 minutes. Local kids can only hang out here at this hour in the summer. The hall is packed with all sorts of arcade machines, each game's name glowing invitingly. Clips of characters deliberately failing to beat different levels flash on the screens over and over. Donkey Kong! Heck yeah! Street Fighter. Nice. I'm trying to read the other ones, I can't see. Got a leaderboard going. Alright. None of us are on it. Sad. The boys start searching for the most interesting game. Oh, I get to pick! We were here for Street Fighter, but... Oh, it's a... it's a... Gosh. I thought it was Tetris, but now I'm not so sure with the way this is. No, it can't be Tetris. I'm curious. I'm not good at any arcade games. I need to know what this is. Oh, Galaga. Okay. This was once one of the most famous games. Now this veteran arcade cabinet is used only while the others are busy, or when a couple of truly insane nerds try and fail to break the record of someone named Lily the Rat once or twice a month. What a great name. Okay, so I get to pick, but we're here to play Street Fighter. Really? You are calling it Donkey Kong. I thought it was like Donkey Kong. I guess I just couldn't see the G behind the thing. Never mind, I can't read. An arcade golden oldie. The game machine is ancient and in poor condition. The sign barely even flickers anymore once one of the buttons is cracked. Alright. Well, I think that's all I can click on, so... Street Fighter. The best game the hall has ever seen. Ryu and Ken are frozen on the signboard, ready to jump each other. The floor around the arcade machine is brightly polished, worn down by student sneakers. Okay. Okay, I'm like, is there anything else I can click on? No?
It's over here!
No! It's out of order! And cashier cannot fix it. Boo. No wonder it's empty. The boys run toward the machine. It hasn't yet been wrecked the way some of its time-worn neighbors have. Even so, the buttons and plastic casing bear scuffs, cracks, and grubby marks left by countless kids' hands. Worst of all, instead of some thrilling music, the machine is emitting only a hoary wheeze? Is that a word? Like an old man struggling to clear his throat and instead pushing a death rattle out of his rusty lungs. Oh no. A piece of cardboard with a blood-curdling inscription is stuck to the screen. Temporarily out of order. No, cashier cannot fix it.
God, where is your justice?
Who's the god of computer nerds? The monkey holding the barrel? Brian grumbles something in response, and Michael just shrugs.
Technician's coming, but not till at least next Tuesday. So y'all will need to choose some other game. Try Road Blasters. It's the freshest here.
The cashier points at the brand new arcade game displaying a car blowing up and drowning in a fiery pixelated cloud.
Dang it!
Michael's voice trembles. He seldom lets himself betray such emotion, but Brian has his back.
What else have you got, other than cars? All that and a bag of chips. If you're ranking the top 5 of Pumpkin Man, I'll give you a double prize.
He nods toward the counter.
Aight, no one really plays this trash. We've got a real shot at setting a record.
Aw, kitty! A gray cat lounging on a chair next to another machine captures the girl's attention. 4 letters shine on her pink collar. Lucy. So sweet! Pet the cat. It's my only option. I have no other option. I must pet this cat. The cat flattens her ears and grumbles. I bet you $5 he doesn't remember how clean hands with no cheese ball dust on them feel. She kinda looks like the cat Mom was trying to paint last month. Let me guess. The cat in the painting had mandibles and a pair of tentacles? Ugh, I wish. She was just in the background. Mom paints people. You know how it is. Ashley knows. She wishes she didn't, though. Those paintings are why she prefers inviting Ava over rather than visiting her. Well, one of the reasons, anyway. They'd had a slumber party at Ava's place twice. Both nights, Ashley had been plagued by nightmares. The root cause was a few masterpieces Ava's mom considered her favorites. Compared to those monstrosities, plain old horror movies were practically bright, cheery cartoons. Okay. Ah, it's Pac-Man! Meanwhile, the boys approach the coin-operated Pumpkin Man machine. Instead of usual Mr. or Mrs. Pac-Man, a bright orange pumpkin is flying around top levels, eating licorice candies. Okay. The display sears their eyes with poisonous shades as a bunch of colorful blots chase the voracious pumpkin.
What you think? Are these ghosts?
Michael peers at the sign.
Here's a hunter shooting the pumpkin with a shotgun.
They're restless hunters' souls, then. Sure. Awesome. Let him catch the pumpkin. Then everyone's happy. The hunters are safe in their graves, and we're home. Brian decisively draws a handful of coins from his pocket and inserts them. That was very impressive animation. The coins clatter through the machine's metal innards and settle in its stomach. The maze dissolves into pixels and rearranges itself into the first level. Its corridors are speckled with candies, and the ghosts begin darting ravenously around their cage.
Back home, with no prize. I ain't leaving till we empty out that prize counter.
The cashier shudders at the thought.
We close in half an hour.
Brian winks at Michael.
Then he's gonna have 15 minutes left over to cry over his empty counter.
Oh boy. Please don't make me play this, whatever you do. No! Please don't make me play this, whatever you do! Oh man, I haven't played a Pac-Man since I was like 5. Nom 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 nom. Nom 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 nom. I'm so bad at this. So very bad at this. Ooh. I might be able to somehow do this. Do. I did it! I did one level. Let me eat you. I just ate it. Whee! Oop. Ooh! Hooah! Get wrecked. I nearly died there. Ugh. No! My reflexes are so bad. Yay! I win! It wasn't pretty, but I did it! I still got it! 5-year-old Molly would be so proud. Oh, but I want to play the Ninja Turtles. Wait, go back.
That's it! Gimme tickets, you stupid slab of iron!
Oops. The cabinet releases 50 tickets that could be exchanged for an interesting item. Although they'd like to keep playing a bit longer, they've run out of spare change, and Brian would never, ever borrow money from a girl. Michael feels a bit awkward since he's never had any pocket money at all, but a friendly slap on the back snaps him out of his thoughts.
Good job, Michael! You played like a beast!
Heck yeah, I did.
You two did a lot better on this than in chemistry class today. Not sure I could have completed the level where there were more ghosts than candies.
Brian looks around with a self-satisfied smile, but to his disappointment, the girls aren't there to celebrate his triumph. Guys, that was so awesome, though! They're just emerging from the bathroom discussing something.
You missed something amazing!
Did you land a space shuttle? No? Then I don't see any reason for such delirious joy. Brian points at the tickets Michael's holding.
Nah, what we did is way cooler than any shuttle. Let's go! High time we picked a prize.
The cashier isn't around. The only movement in the whole arcade is a decorative bamboo curtain slowly swaying behind the counter. The cashier's headphones are still lying on the lower part of the counter, and a lonesome sausage is rolling around in a jar. Are we sure it's a sausage? All of a sudden, the hall seems empty. Where did he go?
Dunno.
Brian carefully approaches the counter and raps on the table with his knuckles. They hear shambling behind the bamboo curtain. Someone exhales loudly and they all freeze. The game machines start beeping incessantly. The signboard lights dim as a devouring darkness creeps into the hall. Ava impatiently examines the counter, the prizes, and the posters tacked up one atop of another. Then she shouts. Why would you shout? It's getting dark in here. Hello? Anybody here? No reply. Alright, let's bounce. I don't want to wait for this freak. Ah! Sheesh. Not cool, dude. I even saw that mask on the counter earlier. You suck. Now you're gonna get eaten by Cthulhu behind you in the darkness. The cashier takes off his mask and bursts into laughter.
You all should have seen your faces.
We didn't even gasp. What a boring prank. He got me. The cashier grimaces as though he's taken a swig of lemon juice.
Ugh, critics. I'd pick a prize. I see y'all got plenty of tickets.
Do I get to pick? Dang. Oh, the mystery. Oh, hey, it's the VHS of death. Oh, man, a Slinky. There's no way I have enough coins for this. Yeah. Nintendo Game Boy, 10,000 winning tickets. The best prize ever. The boys' wildest dreams. I wonder how long you'd have to play to win this many tickets. You'd have to save up for like days, surely. Wolf buttons. Slinky, 20 winning tickets. A red Slinky, an American golden oldie. You can perform lots of simple tricks with it. Ava's promised her younger brother she'll get him one just like this. Oh, let me get it. Get it for Tony. 1986 Topps baseball card set. That's pretty good too. The card's price has slumped since everyone rushed to buy them a few years back, hoping to sell them at a profit later, even if they aren't interested in sports. Okay. Brian's personal collection is only missing the 1986 and 1984 sets. He'd love this. Ooh. Okay. Rubik's Cube, 35 winning tickets. A good but hard puzzle. Michael loves stuff like that. He probably would. He'll probably solve it in 15 minutes. Magic 8-Ball, 50 winning tickets. A Magic 8-Ball. Ashley would love this toy as she believes in fortune-telling and horoscopes. Okay, so there's like something that everybody would like. And it's like, well, we'll just compromise and get this mystery tape. Unavailable. Okay, unavailable. Prize from Michael? Why is it unavailable? Is it just unavailable because it's the demo? Or is it because Michael won? Her face looking at this thing. Ooh.
And the award for the best gamer of the night goes to Michael. What do you say? You want a Rubik's Cube? Looks fly. Never seen one like this before.
Michael nods shyly. He's not used to getting anything right on the first try. I feel you. He isn't thrilled about the prize, but Brian could have simply chosen the Magic 8-Ball for his girlfriend or the Slinky for Ava. He's known them way longer. But no! He chose Michael. He's on cloud 9. People are finally noticing him.
Girls, you don't mind, do you?
Oblivious to the world, Ava is just staring at the Leatherface mask stretched over a jar of cheap marinated sausages. The mask is made of leatherette, not latex or silicone. It looks so realistic! Of course, up close it isn't as menacing as in the movie, but the unknown artisan clearly put immense effort into it. Ava has watched the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3 times. The family dinner is her favorite horror scene. She wants to ask the cashier where he got that mask so she can buy one for Halloween. There's nothing else to choose between. I took a look at the Magic 8-Ball box. It was a shoddy fake. I got very few answers. Modern ones are way cooler and more interesting. Take it, Mike, and let's get out of here. The cashier collects the tickets and tosses the cube to Michael, who beams.
Let me give you all something for the rest of the tickets.
And there it is. Our fate is sealed. He takes a cassette from the shelf and taps on it.
No one knows what's recorded on here. I just found it in the hall once.
From the arcade machine that walked its way out there. Brian glances at his friends. Michael twists the cube with rapt attention, paying the cashier no notice. You mean you're gonna just give us somebody's cassette instead of a real prize? But Ava, finished examining the mask, swiftly snatches up the prize and stows it in her bag. Booyah! Extra profit! Brian grimaces as the cashier tucks the tickets into his wallet. Most likely, no extra prize ever even existed, and the cashier's just pawning some junk off on them to pocket their tickets. Chances are, he's pulled that trick before. Who knows? Next time he might try handing out his socks, or some dusty old Tiger Electronics handheld.
I think we got screwed.
It's a strange, mysterious cassette. Isn't that enough? As if teasing them, the light from arcade machines gleams directly on the coveted Game Boy.
No, it's not.
They head toward the exit. A bad sign. Yeah? Do tell. Most of the signs are already off, submerging the thickets, basements, and narrow alleyways in darkness. It splashes out onto the square, engulfing it in blackness. Only a few pickups and locked bicycles are still around, all parked by Marshall Sue's bar. The wind sweeps over the fields. The element that usually toys with the harvested corn now moans forlornly, plunging the suburb into melancholy. Winter will change everything. Stores and bars will be strung with sparkling beads of colorful lights, and the snow will smooth the wrinkles and scars of old Riverwood. The town will take on a deceptively pretty and cozy facade. As a kid, Michael loved strolling around there during Christmas vacation, munching on hot pies and watching snowflakes fall through the thick windows of a coffee shop. Back then, he never noticed the aging buildings, chipped concrete, or the gloomy people trying to fake a smile. In autumn, however, the suburb's flaws stand out more sharply. It looks unwelcoming, gray, lifeless. No wonder Ava calls it the season of ghosts. Just thinking of it gives him the creeps.
Well, we're late. Granny and Grandpa will be upset.
If that's the worst that'll happen, then you may as well stay out a little later.
Come on, Mike, how about that Rubik's Cube? Show us what you got. You should have seen him. A hella pumpkin master.
Michael humbly takes out his toy and twists a few of the layers. But watching the colorful squares slowly line up is boring as hell. Everyone knows it, even Michael. Nice. What else are we gonna waste our time on? How about pouring water from the school fountain into the river? Ava pulls out the cassette and waves it at her friends. Now here's something worth our time. What you think? Is it gonna be a movie or a cartoon? Disappointed in the Rubik's Cube, Brian glances at their extra prize.
I really hope it's worthwhile. Maybe some maniac recorded himself abusing his victims and can't wait to make it public.
Delightful. Ugh, it reeks. Why are you smelling it? Nobody knows why Ava sniffed the cassette. She hands it to Ashley, who also grimaces at the stench. Bri? Brian sniffs it too. Oddly, instead of old plastic, it stinks of lake silt. Acidic rust, stagnant water, waxed leather coated in sweat. The odors mix together in the most unimaginable way, yet each is still distinct.
That's weird.
Also that the light just went out above us. That's what I'm talking about. We gotta see what's... Oh, suddenly Michael shrieks and swears. Did you cut yourself on the cube? The friends spin to face him. Michael shakes his finger and sticks it in his mouth. He grips the cube as if he's about to throw it away, but forces himself not to. Ashley glances at her bewildered friends. They look just as lost as she is. Unless that cube's made of sugar, that's totally weird. Even weirder than that nasty cassette. What happened, Mike? The boy puts the cube in his pocket and forces a smile. His face is covered in sweat, and his eyes dance about anxiously. Mike?
It's all good. Just pinched my finger. Must have turned a layer the wrong way.
It hurts, but Michael doesn't want to look weak in front of his friends. And he certainly doesn't want to scare them. The whole thing felt strange, pointless. Why would we be scared about you pinching your finger?
Mark my words, an arcade that's never bothered to repair Street Fighter doesn't know what fun is. No wonder their prizes are junk. How about we just throw it under Abraham's truck? Just imagine the pieces flying apart.
Abraham drives a massive tanker truck, shipping milk across town. Before that, he spent years as a driver for the local flour mill. His old red truck is already a town legend. You can hear its roar all the way from the other side of Riverwood. Wow, that'd be incredible. Steven Spielberg's gonna shoot a movie about it one day, for sure. Ugh, today was a crazy waste of time. Let's just go home. Nobody disagrees, so they head to the town's nearest district. There isn't as much junk lying around here as there is in the park. The residents in this area are relatively wealthy. Okay, yeah, it is tidier. Ashley's house is the first place on their way back. The friends stop by her family's decorative fence. Michael likes it here. The house feels alive, bright, full of energy. Not that he and his grandparents live in a junkyard, but their place is old, engulfed in greenery and quiet. Old things always stay right in their places, and new ones are rare. If the TV still works, there's no need to replace it. If the couch isn't falling apart, why get rid of it? It could last through at least one more generation of kids. The only new thing his grandfather has bought lately is a car, but, well, that was for a special reason. Michael's life is quiet, like a little mouse burrowed in books and magazines. In that sense, Ashley is his complete opposite, just like their houses. An old single-story building versus the giant mansion that takes up half its plot. Ash, you have an old VHS player in your shed, don't you? Yeah. Why, you want to watch the cassette? Well, it could make our evening a little better. But don't our boys gotta get home? Instead of answering, Brian jumps over the fence and waits for his friends to follow. Michael? Michael nods and quickly catches up with Brian. Brian looks excited, like he's about to embark on the best adventure of his life. Grinning from ear to ear, he turns to Michael.
Did you solve the cube? No. I'll try again tomorrow. Let's check out that tape.
I feel like that cube's gonna save our butts somehow. We're gonna throw it at the ghost. He should have started doing his homework long ago instead of wandering through the streets. By now, his grandmother might be about to call the police and demand a search party for her grandson, but he hardly wants to go home. What happened? Michael stares pensively at his finger. Blood is still oozing out of the wound. The nail and the flesh have been cut with a sharp edge. The worst part is the feeling of the cube growing right inside his pocket. What? The cube that pinched his finger hard. Did it bite you? The cube covered in bloody fingerprints. The cube that had suddenly been etched with an inscription invisible to anyone but him. Oh, that's why he didn't want to scare anyone. What? 4 carved out letters. That is so cool looking. Your? Oh, it's gonna have a message, but we can't see it until it's all like one color. Oh no. Ugh. That's creepy. And then the carving disappeared as if it had never been there. Come on, let's go check what kind of recording we got. A comfy place. Is it, though? Is it? And who are you? As far as the friends are concerned, Ashley's shed is the best and coziest place in the whole suburb. They spend most of their evenings there in winter, when there's nowhere else to hang out and a high risk of being targeted by the high schoolers' snowballs. There's plenty of space for board games and fooling around. They can be as loud as they like, and Ashley can always bring them snacks or soda from home. Her father originally planned to turn the place into a man cave, complete with a couch and a big TV. But he's been overwhelmed with work lately, so most of the time the friends are free to use the shed. But that day, they aren't alone. Chris, Ashley's older brother, is already inside, lying on a shabby carpet and playing a new Sega Genesis. Only as they enter does Ashley remember that Chris is grounded for coming home drunk from a party. He isn't allowed to see his friends for a month, but some of his buddies must have lent him the gaming console so he won't get too bored at home alone. He's like, ah! As the front door squeaks open, he swiftly hides a red pack of Marlboros under a pillow.
Oh, it's just you suckers. I thought Daddy showed up and was about to teach me how to live again. What you doing up here? Baby Ashley decided to show you our true family treasures?
The shed is filled with dated furniture, living out its last days, and unused equipment covered in dust, plus other miscellaneous items the family are too lazy to get rid of. Ashley's family is rich enough that they don't need to sell all their old junk, so a lot of it has been stuffed into the shed. I see. An archaic Atari Pong console. Ashley's father played it as a teenager, but the only controller broke long ago, and so did the console itself. Sad days. Chris's battered punching bag. Someone must have thrown hatchets and darts at it. The funny scarecrow from the Bennett's field. Ashley asked Chris to steal it after the Bennett's youngest daughter lost her doll. It was hard to believe, but Ava swore the scarecrow had moved on its own. Why would you keep this? That's just bad news bears. An antique mirror. Little Ashley loved looking in it and imagining she was a Disney princess. Ava would barely even glance at the mirror. She was 110% convinced that Bloody Mary would come out of it if she wasn't careful. That's fair. The old motorcycle. About 3 years ago, before Ashley and Brian started dating, Brian saddled it up and drove into the creek. Ashley burst into laughter, and Brian was banned from visiting Ashley's house. It seems the ban still hasn't been lifted. Okay. I mean, fair. Chris retrieves the Marlboros and pulls a cigarette out with his teeth. Looking very cool. That music. Brian notes the trick so he can try it later. It looks thrilling. He doubts his attempt will look as natural as Chris's did, but it's worth a little practice. What if he manages to impress the high schoolers or the guys from the neighboring town's baseball team? Taunting opponents and getting on their nerves is a time-honored tradition. Brian immerses himself strolling past them, imagines himself strolling past them, deftly pulling out a cigarette, then smirking and asking why they sent a team of sissies to the game. Don't you have to stay in your room and feign remorse?
And what about you? Shouldn't you be catching Z's, not wandering around in the dark? Or you want to see who can disappoint our parents the most?
He exhales a ring of blue smoke. The winner is clear. No. Unlike you, I care about my future. We just want to watch a cassette. Why don't you just go do something else for a bit? We need the TV.
As if. Get out of here, kids.
He turns to the TV and keeps playing. Ah, I have no option to persuade. I can only deceive. Well, this can only end well for us. But Ashley isn't going to back down. Her brother is as simple and predictable as an old penny. She won't even break a sweat fooling him. All you really need to know is whose opinion matters more to him than his own. Whose personal business he cares about more than video games. What he's afraid of missing out on. What will make him jealous. Ashley's eyes narrow slyly at Chris. I'll trade the TV for some intel, bro.
Go on.
He's still staring at the screen through the smoke cloud, frantically clicking the controller's buttons. Pauses it again. We stumbled on your cronies out there. Sam and Bobby, right? They were asking if you're still grounded. They were pretty upset that you couldn't keep him company. Chris throws his sister a wary glance. Sam and Bobby are real douchebags. Rumors of their wicked deeds are always flying around town. Ashley knows Chris is afraid of them, but he'd still do anything to get into their gang. He's constantly schmoozing them with free drinks and cigarettes.
You really think I'm gonna fall for that bull?
It's true. I also saw them near the old water tower. They were going to steal Pam's motorcycle and ride it to the flour mill. Dang, backing up her friend. Chris jumps up, nearly burning his fingers on the cigarette.
Why the hell were they going there?
Chris knows his sister can make up any nonsense on the spot if she wants to take advantage of something. But Ava he trusts. She's a good girl. He doubts she'd lie. He can see right through his little sis. Ashley thinks she's a master manipulator, but her expression is a dead giveaway when she's lying. But Ava is different. They've known each other forever, and she never lies so blatantly. Unless, of course, it comes to stories about the ghosts that haunt the old school, Or the mysterious drowned man the girls totally met at the lake that one day.
Grandpa says truck drivers sometimes sneak bourbon into the factory in gas cans and sell it to the night shift workers. Best bourbon in the state, that's what he says. I bet they weren't gonna buy it. They were gonna steal it! Huh, that would be fun.
He yanks his sneakers on and rushes for the door. Before he leaves, he glances over his shoulder and sneers.
Watch out, Four Eyes. If you're just trying to ditch me, your ass is gonna be my punching bag next time. Ava, you don't count.
Well, that's kind of rude. Chris disappears into the night, and Michael wipes the cold sweat from his forehead. Welp.
He isn't gonna punch me, is he? Is he, guys? It's just Ashley's brother, not some damn high schooler who likes robbing kids.
Ashley doesn't really agree. Chris has changed lately. He used to play sports. He's never smoked or followed complete idiots before. Their parents were proud of his medals and trophies. Their dad claimed any college would accept Chris on an athletic scholarship if he couldn't make it academically, and once he entered college, he would straighten out. But there's nothing left to straighten out anymore. Nobody offers scholarships for partying or hanging around bad company. Chris's boxing gloves are already gathering dust under his bed. His empty shelves and hooks aren't expecting any new awards anytime soon. What happened there? Let's just start, okay? Ava, you got Michael into trouble. I'm not okay with this. She glances at the moon. The cassette is not the only reason she wants to hurry up. Oh, right, werewolf, gotcha. Turn it on, Brian. Brian changes the TV to AV mode and slides the cassette into the VHS player. Pink noise. Static noise dances on the screen, curved and covered in dust. The speakers let out a soft hiss followed by a squeak. I hope the tape's not blank. Otherwise, Michael's gonna get beat up for no reason. Michael shivers and glances around as if Chris might already be creeping up on him, his fist raised to strike. It can't be blank. Hurry up and take your seats. We don't want to miss anything. Ava settles down against one of the pillows and her friends follow suit. The TV continues flickering, disrupting the peace of the shed. The wind sweeps out of the fields and descends on the suburb, sneaking through the streets like a wild animal prowling for prey. It shoves the shed, making it sway and creak like a popping joint. Their only lamp flickers, casting shadows on the piles of garbage in the corners.
Is there any other light in here?
As if to answer Michael's question, a picture begins to form on the screen. The black and gray static stripes morph into an image, taking on colors and shapes. One part becomes studio walls. Another area changes into the decorated set of a Friday night show. Okay. The rest turn into the body of a game show host wearing a striped suit jacket. The host is half-turned and staring at the camera as if waiting for a director's signal to start or trying to see the audience on the other side of the screen.
At least he's not a maniac.
Don't speak too soon. Okay. An invisible orchestra bursts into music so cacophonous that the player should have been whipped for their miserable performance and never allowed to lay hands on an instrument again.
Welcome to the show, everybody.
Ah, that's it! Congratulations! You completed the demo version of the game Pink Noise. As you might have guessed, the full game offers you a great variety of choices, so all the plot twists will be up to you. We are genuinely grateful for your support in our project and your time spent playing. Don't forget to subscribe to our social media and stay tuned for upcoming news. See you soon. Support us on Kickstarter. Please do. Man, the just absolute polish that is here in the demo is incredible already. I am very impressed. The atmosphere is nailed. Characters are great. I'm already seeing, like, hints at what could come to pass. Michael is going to be the most interesting because that boy sees things, you know? So definitely color me intrigued, to say the least. As mentioned, games and Kickstarter, I will have a link in the description below. They're going for another couple days, so I hope you will go and check them out and give them some support. And also, the demo is on Steam. I have that link in the description below as well if you guys want to check it out for yourself. But yeah, I loved my time with this. This was a lot of fun. Definitely nailed the creepy vibes, and I'm invested to see more of this in the future. Thank you so much again, Anna, for asking me to check this out, and thank you guys for joining me today. Until next time, I will see you later.